We have not flipped, hoping I didn't make a 70K mistake. Whatever, Evan. Good to see your face, man. Yeah, feel free to, y'all. Feel free to share your video with us. Turn your video on. Nate likes to see faces as well when he's doing some Q&A. My mic is a little muffled sounding. Okay, well, let's look at that. Well, that's because my mic isn't selected. Hold on. That would be good to know. One sec, one sec, one sec. Awesome. The mic's not working. Great, guys. Technical difficulties, huh? All right. Let me talk a little bit closer. Is that better, guys, if I talk closer? Well, yeah, it doesn't look like my mic is working because my mic's not selected, which is awesome. Okay. All right, iPhone says this is the first time I am watching and want to learn. We got Donna's first time. Okay, Leno sounds good to me. Perfect. All right, let us know again where you guys are watching from, as well as any questions you have. So typically what we do at the end of the call is we will spend time answering a ton of questions. So if you're new, how this works is Nate's gonna, break down a deal or break down just overall the 5-year roadmap to retirement, how to use the BRRRR method in real estate, why it's so powerful. This is very, very content heavy, very education heavy, right? And so at the end, we will do Q&A. And the cool thing about our Q&A is, man, it's gonna be able to cover just different areas of real estate. Some for complete newbies, some for those who are just getting started. So again, let us know any questions you have. I'll kind of write those and save those for the end. Just kind of reading some of the people. We got Trey from Detroit/Cincinnati. Well, Trey, where you repping from, Trey? You repping both cities, man? Let me know. Zoom user Wilmington, North Carolina. We got Jerry from Ridgecrest, California. Abu from Aberdeen, Maryland. First time joining Nate. Awesome, guys. Well, Nate will be popping on in just a couple minutes. So let us know again where you guys are watching from and also where you're at in real estate, right? Are you just getting started? Are you currently investing? Are you, a realtor? Maybe you're just like, hey, I've been starting to look into it, but I'm having trouble finding off-market deals. I'm having trouble with the renovation. Drop that in the chat. Really gives us a good idea on what to hit today and the different things to address here. So we got Ivan from Hollywood, Florida. Okay, not a Hollywood, California, Hollywood, Florida. Marco from Sebastian, Florida, best known as Treasure Coast. That sounds pretty cool, man. Very awesome. All right, as you guys are popping in, feel free to turn on your video. Nate's going to be joining in just a second. And let us know again where y'all are watching from. Let us know, what challenges you're having in real estate, what questions you have, man. What's something that you want to get out of this call? If there's one thing that you could take away from joining this Zoom, from learning from, a industry expert in real estate, what would that be? Drop that in the chat. Let me know what questions you have. Do you everybody know even what the BRRRR method is? Do you know what it stands for? Are there things that you have questions about when it comes to the financing part of the BRRRR, or the renovation, knowing where to buy? Let us know in the chat below. We got Val from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, closing on their first property in a couple weeks. Congrats, Val. That's exciting. Great job. Anna from Northern Kentucky completed one BRRRR. Fantastic, Anna. We have general services. I need to really get a hold of getting the ARV right. Sweet. I know Nate likes to talk about the deal process itself, so we can definitely discuss that. Um, Dylan, you have a great Zoom name, FBI surveillance fan. That's funny. From Ridgecrest, California, and I don't know much of anything. I'm just here to absorb it all. LOL. I'm sure you are FBI surveillance van. That's a great Zoom name. Marco Johnson, I want to know if y'all have a leader groups in Nevada or by Las Vegas. Yep, yep. So there is we have local city groups. We can dive into that a little bit later. And I believe we do have one in Vegas. I'm in Phoenix myself. We have one in Phoenix. Donna says, I have a rental property, which was my first home I lived in. Interested in learning how I can flip other houses, especially using private legit lenders. Have no idea where to start. We'll definitely hit that. I'll make sure to note to in a little bit when we kind of dive in to drop Nate's lender that he's been working with for 15 years. We'll kind of connect you guys with his direct link and you can get some more information, Don. I'll make sure to notate that. April from Chicago to single family or SFF rentals. What about Airbnb arbitrage side of things? Would that be something to mention? Okay, cool. We'll touch on that. I'm gonna write that down. Airbnb arbitrage. That's a fun one to address and talk about. And we'll be talking about kind of what we believe in, right? Philosophically, with the when it comes to renting. People popping in now that our text went out here. April, finding business credit cash with 0% interest due to 12 to 18 months. Yep, we'll definitely touch on the business credit cards and how if y'all aren't familiar, Nate's son Caden, who is 17, got his first property using a 0% business credit card. So we'll probably touch on that a little bit. Ivan, been hard to get the right lenders. Totally, guys. We can talk about the financing side of things and just kind of break that down step by step. Valerie, Valeria having a hard time budgeting the renovation costs. Totally. That's a huge thing, right? A lot of times people, and I know Nate will hit this on the head, especially a lot of people are like, man, there's no deals out there, right? Interest rates are high. There's no deals out there. Man, Nate was investing at 10, 11, 12%, right? And so there are plenty of deals out there. To be honest, the real problem, right? There's a phrase that we like to say in our company, which is what is the problem we're trying to solve, right? And so a lot of times we look at one problem, you're like, oh, that's the problem. I can't find a deal. And typically it's not really about you can't find a deal. It's your numbers aren't adding up. And it comes usually from one of two places: how you're analyzing the property, analyzing the area, looking at appreciating markets, looking at, what you can actually make off the property. And a big piece, and Val was kind of hitting this, is the renovation process, is how much you're paying for the renovation and the construction can make and break a deal. So if you do not know, right, how to break those numbers down, right? If you don't know how to really analyze what the renovation is, how to negotiate with contractors, how to manage the renovation process. I mean, yeah, there might not be deals, but that is a huge piece of the BRRRR method, which I know Nate is like an OG with that, man. He's gangster when it comes to renovation breakdown. So hopefully we spend a few minutes on that. All right, guys, we're gonna get started in like 60 seconds. So couple more. Drop in the chat, man. What are you expecting for tonight? What are you wanting to learn? If you guys are just joining us, Nate will be hopping on in just a minute. Let us know where you're watching from, where you're currently at in real estate, what questions you have, man, what things you want answered, what connections you need for you to hit your real estate goals. If you're a complete newbie, let us know. If you are Oh, thanks. I missed you on the cruise too, Jason. I know my pill self would have got a sunburn, but next Birth 360, I gotta be there. But again, let us know where you're watching from, and even if you're a current investor, man, what's holding you back, right? Are you stuck at a certain portfolio? Are you cash poor and all your money's in your current investments and you're not able to scale? Drop that in the chat. Let us know what questions you have. I'll make sure that we add these things. Avondale, what, bro? I'm in West Valley here, so I'm pretty right by you. Connor says best financing options for a primary residence loan, someone who wants to do a BRRRR with little money down and live in a property for a year before renting it out. Very cool, like house hacking, basically, is what you're saying, Connor. Okay, sweet. No, definitely. Ivan says I have 5 lots, been stuck trying to sell them, but I would love to build on them. Okay, so I'm guessing is it just raw land, Ivan, or are you in a neighborhood, raw land? See a thumbs up. Um, Khadijah, how do we leverage credit cards for funds? I definitely think Nate's going to be hitting that. Malcolm from Cincinnati. Tree Stewardship from Maine. Welcome. I don't know if that's a business name or your name is Tree. If your real name's Tree, that is fantastic. That's way cooler than Donald, man. Okay, Jerry, I'm trying to get to a first property ASAP. It's hard to get enough money for it. I want to buy cheap, fix, and either flip, quick, or BRRRR. All right, landing communities. Got it, Ivan. How do you decide the best market to find deals in Florida, Ellis? Definitely, we can talk about that. Business. Okay, tree stewardship. Hey man, if that was your real name, because I was wondering, somebody in the Zooms is tree stewardship, and I was like, man, that is a very unique name, but I guess it is a business name, so that works right there. So let me make sure. I know Nate's popping on any second now. I'll just double check in videos. Okay. Again, let us know, guys, where you're watching from and what questions you have. Nice job pronouncing my name correctly. Thank you. I tried my best. I'm not going to do it again. I'm just kidding. We'll try in a little bit. Um, okay, how to find tenants for short and midterm rental properties. What are the checklists? Okay, let me write that down in the questions. What's up, Nate, man? How's it going?
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing today?
Dude, good, man. Doing really well.
Yeah, so I got my son Caden here. Caden, come here, man.
All right.
And so go ahead, Caden.
What?
I mean,
Tell him about what, the property?
yeah, so guys, he's on his second property, and you know, just been working through some things with Caden this week, uncovering the value of his property here. And so want to thank you guys for joining us. Like, man, really what we want to cover here, we're going to be on here with you guys for about an hour. We want to go through why we feel like it's so important to understand something outside of the traditional way that people invest. The traditional way of investing in real estate is you go work a W-2 job, you earn money by trading your time. That way is just about as old-fashioned as a horse and buggy. And who in here rides horse and buggy? Hey, man, do you guys mind cutting your camera on, man? I got mine on. I'd love to, like, look at your faces, know who you guys are and girls are. What's up, Danny? How you doing today, brother? Hey, look, man, I'm doing this here because, look, I care about you. Look, I care about you guys, man. I care about the struggle. I know what the struggle is like. The struggle's real. But it doesn't have to be. And you know, if you follow the traditional path, you can expect traditional results. It's no different than going to the gym. You know, if you go to the gym on New Year's and you go for the first 2 weeks and then you fall off, you're going to get those results. So real estate is the same way. But here's what I love about real estate. It's better than going to the gym to me. Obviously, you can see that because I'm fat. But, you know, like, let's say I could go to the gym really hard for like 3 or 4 years. And then I never had to work out again. I still had a six-pack. Man, I'd probably be really good. I'd be in shape. But with the gym, you have to continue to go the rest of your life. With real estate, you only got to go hard like 4 or 5 years, man. You can retire the rest of your life. You ain't got to work anymore. You have to understand money at a different level, though. And so a lot of us, man, we went to we went to, and I'm not talking to the people who went to college, who already were upper middle class and rich. Like, I'm not talking. What? Oh, Donald, can you make sure everybody else is muted? So I'm not talking to the people that are, you know, like not struggling. I'm talking to my people that's struggling. So if you're not struggling, man, I don't mean to offend you. I'm talking to the people that have been sold a lie most of their life. They're told that they're going to go to college and that, you know, coming out of college, you know, you're going to have this good job. But here's the problem. They never told you what a good job was. They told you that 70 or 80,000 a year was the goal. And you thought as an 18-year-old kid, dang, that sounds really like a lot of money. But then you become an adult and you like, man, hey, me and my wife or me and my husband making more than that, and we can't even hardly make it. Because why? Because now you got daycare. Man, daycare, man, whacking you over the head for like 400 or 500 a week. A lot of times it's better if the one of the spouses quit and stays at home. That's how expensive daycare is, especially if you got 2 kids. So how are we going to get ahead in life? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Yes, my son has me as a father. Yes, he has 0% credit cards. There's a lot of people, man, they just, when I say like emotionally insecure, um, very young-minded people, man, out here, and they always think that if they had this or that they could do this or that. The reality is in life, man, it's about making a decision. It's like me looking at somebody saying, well, look, man, he has a real nice treadmill. Of course he's in shape. Like, nah, bro, I don't need a nice treadmill. I just got to get out here and put that work in. And so, who in here, if I showed you guys the way, is willing to put the work in? By a show of hands. Come on, man. Come on. Everybody should have their hands up, man. Everybody, like, come on. So, what I'm going to show you guys is, realistically, how I believe any one of you can, retire in 5 years using real estate. But I want you to ask my son questions. Ask him the questions that a lot of people were asking in the chat the other day, but instead of asking, a lot of them just had assumptions. And we're not gonna do any like raising hands. If you got a question, put it in the chat below, and we're gonna answer there. Um, and so here, my son got his first property, finished it out. He's about to lease it out. Here's what he told me, man. Now this is how you know he got an abundant mindset. He said, Dad, I don't want to sell it even if I get 300,000. He's in it for what? 150, 152 probably. He said, okay, tell him here. Talk to him. Tell him. Why didn't you want to sell that property, even if you could make $150,000 in profit?
Because my goal ain't to make money. My goal is to, if I want to, have enough net worth to retire. I don't really care about making $20,000-$30,000 extra if it's cash. I just don't really care. That's not part of my goal.
So what is your goal then?
My goal is to be worth $1 million.
Okay, but why? I mean, is it going to make you feel really good inside?
If I'm worth $1 million every single year just off of cash flow alone, I'm making around $60,000 just not having to do anything. And then if my property's appreciating 5% a year, I'm going to be making, I think with the cash flow, it's $240,000 a year. Because you got to think, I don't own $1 million worth of property if I'm worth $5 million, or if I'm worth $1 million, because I'm leveraging my money. So instead of saving up for 10 years and buying a property with cash, I'm using money to buy a property. I'm using the bank's money to buy a property. So really, I only put up about 20% of the money. The bank puts up the rest. So I own 5 times as much property as I have in it. So if I have $1 million net worth, I really own $5 million worth of property.
And why do you think that having $4 million in debt is good?
Because that debt is paying for itself. If my debt ain't paying for itself, like college debt, you got to go to work to pay for that. But if I have $4 million in debt in real estate, the real estate's paying for that debt and more.
How? Explain to people how.
Because going up in value every single year, real estate. I mean,
yeah, but you got to pay the bank every month. How are you going to pay the bank?
I mean, the tenant's paying that. That's how you pay the bank. The tenant pays them basically your rent.
Okay, so I'm confused. How did you use the bank's money to buy the property? You're 17 years old.
Well, in my example, I guess it still is the bank's money. I use 0% credit cards. It's still a bank.
But you're too young. You can't get a credit card.
Well, I just worked off of your credit, and even if you aren't old enough.
Okay, so you use my credit cards to buy a property.
Yeah, but even if you aren't, I think there's a way for your parents to co-sign on yours.
Okay, so wait. I'm trying to clarify for everybody. So you use my 0% credit cards to buy your first property.
Yeah.
Okay, how much did you pay for the property?
$70,000.
How much did you have to put in it? What were the renovations?
$80,000 soft cost and renovation cost.
So that's $150,000. What's the property worth?
$300,000.
Okay, so how much are you going to be able to borrow from the bank out of that $300,000?
I think we did the calculations, and in what rent we're shooting for, 68% we're going to be able to borrow from the bank. So I think it's like $210,000.
So it's a little less than
Okay.
210. And so here's what he's talking about. Even though you got a $300,000 value on a property, you can't borrow 80% of that because interest rates are a little higher. So you can, because what the lender he's going to have to go with is what's called a DSCR lender, debt service coverage ratio lender. Is Adam in here today to answer any questions? I don't know if he is. I know he's down there in Florida doing some cleanup. And so I'm going to hook you guys up with my personal lender. Everybody that I mentor a lot of people, and including my son, and I'm going to hook you guys up with this lender. So make sure that you take that link, fill it out if you are in the market. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, he does fix and flip lending, which are, you know what well, you probably don't know yet, but I'm going to explain to you what fix and flip lending is. Fix and flip lending is, okay, I am going to buy a distressed asset and I'm going to renovate it. What the fix and flip lender is going to give you is the acquisition cost. So let's say you buy it for 100,000. You're going to put 10 to 20% of that down depending on your experience. So let's just say I got to put 20% of 100 grand. Now that's 20 grand. And then they're going to give me 100% of renovations. So how much money do I need? I need about 20 grand down. Closing costs are going to be expensive on them loans too, because unlike a traditional bank who leverages consumers' money, they don't. This is real private equity getting a yield on the money. So your closing costs are going to be probably somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000. So you're going to need 27 grand. On top of that, you're going to also need 20,000 to operate and get your construction done. Let's say you have 60,000 construction, you can do it in phases. So you got to take 20,000, deploy that, get work done, get the draw. Then you're going to wait a day or two to get your money back. So you have to be really good and knowledgeable how to do this, but you can scale extremely quick. Caden has a goal to become a millionaire in 9 months, but we've uncovered something, Danny, which you're really going to love about this property here, the one that you came down and seen the other day. And the one that Trey was down there today too. And it's mind-blowing, right? It's really mind-blowing. And we're going to share that with you guys in a minute. So after you get the fix and flip lending done, you force the value of the property. So that 27,000 that you had in down payment and the 20,000 used to renovate it, once you get it stabilized and rented out, you're able to get all your capital back if you do the deal right. And we could show you certainly how to do that. And then there's another component. You have to be able to service your debt after all your expenses, usually by a 1.2 or 120%. So if the bank's payment is 15,000 a year, the bank's going to want to see 120% of that, which is 18,000. So on a $2,000 a month property, let's just say $2,000 a month rental, that's 2,000 times 12 is $24,000 a year. Let's say after your vacancy and your taxes, your insurance, your water, your sewage, your property management fees, your maintenance, your turnovers, your leasing, let's say that you have 18,000 left. Your expenses were $6,000. Well, the bank would loan you 15,000 a year. So depending on your interest rate, not loan you 15,000. They would loan you the equivalent of your payment being at 15,000. So in other words, let's say you borrow 200,000, your bank payment is 15 grand a year on 200,000. You have 18,000 cash flow. That's a 1.2 debt service coverage ratio. So his first property, he'll be able to pull out about 50,000 in cash. He won't have to pay any taxes on that. All the original money that he borrowed from the credit cards and from my HELOC will be paid back. All that'll be paid back. And he'll have 100,000 in equity and 50,000 in cash. Essentially, his net worth grew by 150,000. Now we got this second property here. The second property they wanted $220,000 for. Caden, you go ahead and tell him, man.
Okay, so they wanted $220,000 for the property. We looked at it probably about 2 months ago. It'd have been from now. Would have closed on it a lot sooner, but we just closed on it. Would have been last Friday.
Yeah, tell them why it took so long to close.
So they had a whole bunch of liens on this property from the state, so we had to wait for that to come back. And in the very end, most of the liens weren't even on the property. It was on somebody who used to be not even owned the property, but associated with it. So we had to wait for them to get that back. And we got the price negotiated down to $50,000 before that. They wanted 220,000. We came back at 40,000. They came back, I think it was just 60,000, right? Is what they came back, 50,000.
Yep.
So we was like, we'll give you 48,000 plus you got to give $2,000 to the guy who's wholesaling it. And that was our deal. That's what we closed on it at.
So we got it for 50,000 with the wholesale fee.
Yeah.
So what did we think this property was going to be worth before we really dug into it?
We thought it was going to be worth like high 300s, like 390 to like 410, 420. But we dug into it some more, and it's really worth, with high-end comps that I plugged in, it's worth $775,000.
And so what happened was I got like 80 people in Cincinnati that are in my private group. And so I was talking to my nephew. He came over to the property. He said, man, Scott just bought one 5 doors up. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And his appraisal just came back at $725,000. See, this is one of those areas that we teach people to buy in, where the values are all over the place because of gentrification. So the property, $725,000. We have an appraisal right here. This is appraisal on that property, 5 doors up from ours. It didn't show up as a sale on Zillow, so I didn't see it. He bought it off the owner, but he got this appraisal right here and he sent it to me. And then as from a cash flow perspective, it was 870. But we have this is a big house. It's like 7, 8 bedrooms, right? Now we could divide it into 2 or 3 units, but we're not going to do that. We have somebody that we rent other places to that's coming down tomorrow to look at it. They have a group home and they're going to give us $6,000 a month. That's $72,000 a year. So now out of that, about 1,000 of that'll be taxes and insurance. We'll net like you'll net 60,000. But assuming that he gets the 700, now that doesn't even include land. So that's $725,000 value. We got another $100,000 in land there too.
Be more than that. If our property is worth that much more, the land might be worth a lot more too.
So that property there, and you guys will see us do this in 60 days. We're gonna add. He's gonna add, and I'm gonna help him on a first property. I really didn't help him. He struggled a bit. But you pushed through, and I'm proud of you, man. But the second one, I was like, Caden, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you how to push this project. Because what I didn't want to do on the first project, and look, I go live every day into the group too. So I don't want to hear anybody say, hey, man, like, man, I wish that. No, I'm here. I'm showing you guys how to do it, man. Like I'm live at least an hour a day. We're documenting all this. We want to show all you how to do it too. So in his second deal, he'll be up 600,000 in equity. He'll be up 700,000, maybe 800,000 by the end of the year. 4 months, guys, girls. Like it took me a long time doing real estate to do that. But when you have the right knowledge, the right systems, the right processes, you can do it quick. We're going to see if we get this thing inked tomorrow for $6,000. Now they will ask for 3 months worth of concessions. In other words, like I'll give you $2,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $2,000 a month, because they're ramping up. Basically, these group homes, they get $103 per day per person, and that place can hold 16 people. So they can get $1,600 a day full. They got one of our apartment buildings they're renting, they're making $40,000 a week off of it, but they're helping people. These are, people that are in need of help. So we're going to come in and do that property really nice. What's your budget going to be on a construction side?
Well, I have my budget before I sent that to you. If you want to go look at it, I think it's 128,000. And really, I think a lot of that stuff can stay at 128,000 because about half of that stuff is external stuff like plumbing and electric and all that stuff that really isn't going to change no matter how nice your property is. Because, you still got to put in the same PVC, same electrical, same a lot of that stuff. So probably if we have to update it, since we have to update it, probably 170, 180,000. But it's not going to go up crazy high.
So I just want to jump in and I'm going to show you guys some numbers and I'm going to answer some questions. You know what? Let me just jump in and answer questions now. I'm going to let you answer some questions, Caden.
Okay.
So look, 17-year-old son, he was in high school. He was in honors for years. He had 1 class left this year. The school would not let him do his 1 class. There was like, you got to do 4 classes. And so I was like, just finish it out, Caden. And I was like, man, you're gonna want to go to school. Don't you want to hang out with your friends? Don't you want to talk? He's like, Dad, they don't really let us talk in school. And he was like, I'm getting my work done in like 20, 30 minutes in a 70-minute class, and I got to stay there for 4 classes. He was like, Dad, I just don't want to do it, man. And I've always wanted to support my kids. I never wanted to have a mindset like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that. Like you got to get a diploma. Like that's what I was taught, right? Like, why? And then I had to ask myself the real question, like, well, what good is really a diploma in today's age? And the only real answer I could come up with was, well, you can't even get a job at McDonald's without a diploma. And how many of y'all seen Trump at McDonald's yesterday working at McDonald's? See, he was overqualified. But I had to realistically look at it like it really doesn't make sense, right? It just really doesn't, man. And so I was like, man, go ahead, you can finish online school. And then online, he gets on there and they tell me he has to do 4 classes again. He's like, Dad, it's a waste of my time, man. I want to be a millionaire so I can retire in 9 months when his peers are getting out of high school. And I was like, well, what if you want to go to prom? What if you want to walk across the stage? He said, well, Dad, if I want to do that, I could just re-enroll in school in April or May and do that. But, his girlfriend goes to another school, so he goes to her homecoming, prom. So I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't missing out because I was in the streets selling drugs and I never did any of that stuff. And I really wanted to. I felt like I missed that. But looking back, I ain't missed out on nothing. I don't even go to none of my high school reunions and none of that because but I look at the people that were supposed to be successful in high school, and man, they struggle, man. Because why? They drank the Kool-Aid. They believe that if you go do this and you do good in school and you get all A's and then you go to college, I mean, all they're doing is running somebody's division for their company. And so what I want to show you guys how to do, man, is literally own the company, own the property, use debt. And I'm going to jump in and show you guys how you can use debt in a minute. But go ahead, Donald. We're going to jump to a couple questions right now. I'm going to have Caden answer questions for a little while, and I'm going to jump in and show you guys some stuff.
Also sent that thing to your mail if you want to look at it.
What'd you say?
The budget from when we had 400,000.
Okay, so you had the budget. That's okay, Caden. Like tomorrow, I need that put together. We're going to be doing a live in a private group. I need all that put together so we can break the whole deal down.
You should probably run through the property to do it because just so we can see everything exactly.
Well, you got to do it, man, because I got a busy day.
Okay.
So let's jump into some questions, Donald.
Let's do it. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you fine, brother.
All right, perfect. So I have several people asking about, hey, how do I find these business credit cards, 0% interest? How does all that work? A lot of people are asking about that.
Yeah, great question. So, Caden, you want to take that?
Tell them about Fund and Grow.
So, Donald, do you have a link for the company that I use to get me to 0%?
Yep, I can post
Now,
that.
they gave me 93,500 so far. It's 0% credit cards. I got one more round next month. And they're saying they think I'm going to get 100 grand. I didn't need any tax returns. I didn't need any bank statements. I needed nothing for this. Literally, they just go off my credit score. And so they will tell you if you do not have a 700 credit score, they're going to tell you what you need to do. If you're a 680, they're going to say, here's what you need to do, because they're not going to take your money if they can't get you qualified. We also have a deal we worked out with them where you get 500 off and then you get 2 people for the price of 1. Because see, I go out and what I do for my private students, people that I mentor, is I find the problems that they're having in bulk and then we go find solutions for them. This is one of the solutions we came up with. So can you drop that in there?
Yep,
and you guys, you can set up a calendar call. You can go in there and sign right up. But I would suggest that you get on a calendar call with them, ask them questions. They can pull your credit. It'll be what's called a soft pull, so it won't hurt your credit. And they'll be able to tell you from the soft pull whether or not they're going to be able to help you. And like I said, if you go through our link, you get 500 off and you get 2 for 1 because we send them a lot of business.
Following up with the credit card, Austin's asking, how do you pay off your 0% credit card in full if you only refinance and not cash out completely?
We are paying basically the credit card when we send it in. We're sending it in on this app called Plastic. Well, we're telling the title company when that wire comes in that we need a mortgage on the property. So we will create an LLC that holds a mortgage for that amount. See, now you got a mortgage on the property or a second on the property if your lender allows it. That way, when you go and they pull title and they say, what's the payoff and where are these funds going, you're able to get the money back without waiting on season. Does everybody understand what the question he asked and how you deal with that? Does that make sense to what's his name that asked that?
There's some people saying no.
All right, here. Let me just say it. You right now, if you go to the bank, and let's say you've only had the property for 3 months, 4 months, you got to stabilize, even 5 months. They're going to say you can't do a cash out refi. You're going to tell them, number one, if you do a cash out refi, you're going to be a higher interest rate and you're going to pay more fees most of the time because a cash out refi is riskier. So you're going to tell them I want a rate and term refi. The easiest way to do it is this right here. I'm going to tell you right now. The property that Caden bought for $70,000, when we first bought that property, we put a lien on it for $225,000 because we knew that 75% of the after repair value was $225,000. We knew that that was the amount that we were probably going to ask the bank for. Now, depending on where interest rates are, we'll probably ask them for less. So then what the title company will do is they'll say, can you get, so I put a lien on it with one of my other LLCs that lends money. That's all it does. You can go set this up anywhere. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just telling you how I've been able to get around things because the banks will always try to make it hard for poor people, middle-class people. And here, I'm going to give you an example. Me and my partners just bought an $80 million deal. We raised over $40 million for that property and cash. The bank said, where are you going to come up with the funds? So we're going to raise it from people. Okay. Right? It's $40 million, man. But if I go buy a single family home, the bank's going to say, where are you getting your down payment? From a friend. You're not allowed to do that. So what happens in America, man, they want, and I'm not telling you, look, I'm not telling you to use this as an excuse. I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth that that's what happens. So in the last, when I first got into real estate, I had to figure this out because I ain't had no money. I ain't had no lot of money. I had to get that money back to buy another deal, which is the BRRRR method. And so what I realized was talking to my attorney, I said, well, can't I just put a lien on the property anytime money leaves my hand? So let's just say I got Southwest Ohio Lending LLC or Southwest Ohio Capital LLC. I start that, I own that, right? My agent, who's my attorney, you can't see I own it because my attorney, who's the agent, he's the one who started the LLC. He's the statutory agent on it. So now I call the title company. I say, hey, man, I got this deal over here. And they say, okay, we're going to see if it's got a clear title. And I call them. I say, hey, man, I need a mortgage note on that property for $225,000. Okay, who's it going to be made out to? Give me the terms and conditions and their address and who they are. So I give them all that. Well, guess what? That person I'm giving them is me. They don't know it, right? Ain't none of their business because it's another LLC that I own. And so now I tell them, it's going to be a renovation loan. We're going to send the wire over. The wire is going to be $72,000, but the mortgage needs to be for $225,000. They're going to say, well, you're not sending $225,000 now. That money's going to be an escrow. Okay, that's fine with it. This is normal for a title company. So they put a lien on the property for $225,000 because I'm looking at the end and I'm thinking with the end in mind. If I'm going to do a cash out refi, I can't do a cash out refi because they're going to stop me. So if I owe this lender $225,000 and let's say the bank's only going to give me $211,000 and they said, go get your payoff. The payoff's $211,000 or $210,000. I might have to bring $1,000 to close or whatever. Does that make sense, everybody? So instead of us asking questions like there's so many just poverty mindset people, man, they're like, your son can't buy a property. Caden, did you buy the property, man?
Yeah.
No, tell him, did you buy the property physically?
Yeah. We went up to
How?
the title company. We signed it.
You signed for the LLC, right?
Mhm.
Did you how did this one you sent a wire on, right? Did
Yeah.
you send the wire to the bank? Did I even go over there with you?
Mm-mm.
17 years old, he sent a wire. Who's been paying your contractors?
Me.
With what?
Checkbook.
Who's signing the checks?
Me.
Whose account is it?
Me. Yeah, mine.
It's your account. I'm added on there as an additional signer, but it's his account. So look, before I went through this journey, I didn't know that a kid could send a wire. I didn't know that they would give him a checkbook, but they did. And all them checks are clearing and that wire made it. So instead of us asking all the time, like, or projecting is saying something that we don't know, ask the questions and we can help you guys out. So all you guys are on here. Look, Malcolm, that's kind of deep, man. It's a little deeper than that. That's stuff that we kind of cover in our private group, man. But I I don't want to go through it because it's really complicated. And I don't want to tell you guys something and then you do it wrong. Like you got to be very strategic about it. I wanted to tell you guys the basics of how that's just one thing that you can get around. There's one thing. There's a ton of things that you're going to have problems with. You always find solutions though. And yeah, you can pay contractors with credit cards. You can liquidate the credit cards using the plastic app and you can send it as a wire. And then you can create a mortgage for that money that you sent. Does that make sense, everybody? All right, Donald, go to the next question.
Yeah, Ryan's asking, what about the Airbnb arbitrage side of things? Would that be something worth doing?
I don't do Airbnb, brother. So I don't answer Airbnb. I don't know Airbnb. That's not what I'm an expert at.
Well, and also Airbnb arbitrage too, right? Where it's you don't even own the property, you're just like leasing it from somebody
I
else.
mean, listen, man, that's a job. You know, if you want to go rent something from somebody and re-rent it to somebody, that's a job. I'm showing you how to become wealthy is owning assets. Airbnb and all that. Look, man, that's a job. You maybe can make some good money. But I want to show you how to retire. I want to show you how to build wealth.
So what's the difference? Because for some people, because I know some people were mentioned flipping. Obviously, we have people that don't own the property. What's the benefit of owning the property and burning the property besides just monthly cash
All
flow?
right. So listen, everybody. If Caden was to, okay, it's saying I can't do screen share, Donald. So I guess I can't do that tonight. Somebody put news in there last week.
I'm gonna make you co-host. You'll have to see the things pop up, but then you can share if you do that.
All right. So look, everybody, look. I just want to let me see here. No more news this week. All right. We don't want to see wherever that was in here last week. All right. So man, let me just show you guys on a calculator. You guys okay with that? So if Caden sells this $300,000 property, so here's what most people would do. They'll sell that property. Let's say you get full list price. And Donald, I can't do this because it's gonna keep having people admit. So $300,000. I'm gonna have to pay a realtor 6%. I'm gonna have 1% in seller paid concessions. So let's just say I'm gonna get 97%. I mean 93% after I pay the realtor the concessions. I got 279. Okay, so now I got to go pay off the 150,000 that I liquidated from the credit cards and the line of credit. So I'm left with 129,000 in profit. Now, this is same as ordinary income and short-term capital gain. So I'm probably going to capture 70% of that. So I get $90,300. And that's what you get for your entire life. You will never get another dollar out of that property. You're done. That's all you got. Did all that work. Now, if you would have hung on to the property, let's say the $300,000, and let's just say that you borrowed, let's say 70%, 210. Let's say you had 5,000 in closing cost. Walking away with 205. You pay off the credit card you liquidated, and here's your cash back. You got 55,000 cash. So would you rather have 55,000 cash plus 90,000 in equity, or would you rather have 90,000 in cash? Okay, so let me show you what happens. So you got 55,000 in cash. By year 5, you only owe maybe, let's say, 192, 193. The property is in an area where it's going to appreciate. And we drill down into that and show people how to buy areas like that. So that $300,000 property going up, let's just say 5% a year times a 1.05. Here's what it's worth at the end of year 1, you made 15,000 equity. Now year 2, we're getting 5% on the 315. So now it's worth 330. Year 4, I mean, this is year 3 right here. It's worth 347. Year 4, here's what it's worth. And this is how you get wealthy in real estate, everybody. And in year 5, it's worth 382. And you only owe about, you've already liquidated 55,000 in cash out. Okay. You've had here, we're about to run through and see how much money you're going to make. You borrowed 205. Let's say you owe 195. So minus your 195. Okay. So you got 187,000 plus you had 55,000 in cash you already got. Plus, let's say you had $300 a month in cash flow times 60 months. That's another 18 grand, right? So you made $260,000. You ain't paid no taxes, right? This is how you get wealthy. Okay. Now, you do this times, let's say you do 30 of these properties here. Look at this here. You got $8 million, man. You don't have to do a lot. This is what we show people how to do, right? I've done about 4,300 units, 4,300 properties in my life, over $500 million in owning deals. So when I'm telling you guys this stuff, I'm telling you all the stuff that I've learned along the way. And today I got several hundred million in real estate. And, I could buy a lot more. I could buy a lot more, but man, I really enjoy teaching people, hanging out with my family, traveling. That's what I do. Does this make sense, everybody right here? Why you don't want to flip? Because you flip, it's another job. You just got to go do another job over and over and over and over and over again. But we could show you in 5 years how to really retire using this method here. And I did it in 30 months. I came out of bankruptcy and I was able to do it in 30 months. And so I know I was with Okino. He's flying home right now. He was just in town. And Okino was the first person to become a millionaire. It took him 7 months when I showed him this. Today, if you guys know Okino and you ask him, you see him, you say, Okino, let me see what Nate showed you. He has a piece of paper folded up in his wallet and he'll show you. I gave him the blueprint. Same blueprint I give to everybody that I mentor. And I give it to you guys too, man. It's just that when I mentor people, like we have a lot more to help you guys out. We have weekly coaching calls, like 4 or 5 a week. We go live all the time. We have group meetups. We have city groups out here. We have, accountability coaches. We have a private group where we answer questions all the time. We have a lot of support to help you because you will have a lot of questions along the way. So Donald, go ahead. But does everybody understand that though? That's how you get wealthy. You know that, don't you, son? That's why you said you didn't want to sell.
That's the exact reason I didn't have. That's the exact reason I didn't want to sell it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you kind of just mentioned it, but a few people were asking earlier about like how do we become a mentee, more about your mentorship program. So if they want more info on that, Nate.
Well, first thing I would tell you is this, man. Like, I don't want you guys to think that if I mentor you, that it's going to be easy. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and tell you like that people all on social media. I'm telling you, man, we're going to push your mindset to a different level. It's like going to the gym. Remember the first time you really went to the gym real hard? Mm-hmm. And you tell them what you did, man.
I threw up like 3 times an hour.
You threw up 3 times an hour, right? And so I'm telling you that real estate, man, it's going to be hard to a person that's not used to doing that stuff, because the reality is we've been conditioned to like do basic stuff. And I really believe that the school district, schools and colleges have just do basic, because if we did more, then we would push ourselves and we wouldn't need them. So I think that they teach us just enough so that we depend on them.
Hmm.
But I am going to tell you that it's 100% probable too for you to retire in 5 years, if you want to go down this journey. And that when you join, when I mentor you, I mentor you, man, you're in there for life. I don't have these like 3-month fees, 9-month fees. We got a $199 a year technology fee that helps us run our systems, and that ain't even enough, to be honest with you guys. But that's what you get when you jump in with us. You get a network of like-minded people. And you're in there for life, man. The people that joined when I first started mentoring people 3 years ago are still in there. Many of them are millionaires today.
Yeah. So if you want more info about Nate's mentorship, just what do you want? Just have him comment mentor in the chat, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to know more about what we do and how we've been able to help so many people become successful, it's because I've taken my decades worth of mistakes that cost me millions of dollars, and I created a journey and a path that can make you skip all those. So yeah, like Siandra just said, if you guys are interested in talking to us about a mentorship, just comment mentor below, and we'll certainly answer any questions that you got, and just really sit there and listen to what you have to say, what your goals are. We'll let you know if that's something we can help you with or not.
We have NNI General Services. That's not his name. That's his business. They said I need to really get a hold of getting the ARV right. I had a couple of people asking about, man, how do you figure out the ARV?
Okay, now I'll let you do that, man, because like
Okay.
me and Jerry shot up. He's got about 17 videos on that for our students. That, I mean, it's not something that we can cover. It's something really that's about a 2 or 3 hour training that we need to go over. And then every week, what we do is if you bring your comps or you post them in the group, people will let you know, like, yeah, that's good or that's not. I mean, it's really not something that we can go over here, because it's nailing that down right. I'm not going to say, oh, you just do this or that, this or that. No. Like, you have to understand the square footage. You have to understand school districts. You have to understand boundaries and streets. You have to understand how far you can go back. And there's a lot to it. So it's not something that we can cover on this call right here. But that is stuff that we cover in the mentorship, and certainly even have a lot of realtors in there that'll help you if it's a non-disclosure state to try to figure out what that's worth. We even got people that are flipping in, like, for instance, me. My son's in this neighborhood, and then my nephew comes over and he says, Scott, who's in the academy. And I wish Scott was on here right now. Scott started in September of 22. Scott had 0 properties. Scott has over 50 properties now, man.
Wow.
Scott's going to Colombia. He's going to Colombia for 3 months for the winter. My nephew said he might go down there with him. Look, 2 years, man. Now, he wholesales deals too, but he bought this one up the street from us for 500 and got an appraisal for 7.25. Let me see if I can share this with you guys, man. I'll share it to you.
Share's right there.
I know where the share is, but I have to find, it's over here in my email. Right? So, okay, here it goes right here. Okay. So, yeah. So this is the one that he just bought here. And then you seen the one that we got, right? This is literally, I'm just gonna do this here. Look. All right. So hold on, y'all. Okay. Desktop. All right. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Property
so
appraisal
look.
report.
Yep, he bought this for 500 as is. And let's see here. Now I'm gonna show you where our property is. And we got 2 extra lots, okay? And so, okay, this is the subject property here. Now, ours don't look like that. Y'all know that. But it will. So here's the street here. Our house is like, let's see here. That's not it. Okay, so we know what we got to make this house look like, right, to get the comp up. So I think they had a thing on the map here. Okay, so here is, let me see, there should be a better picture. Okay, that's his property. This is ours right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our property here.
All that is.
Yeah, all this land is ours, and the house is right here. Our house is right here. So, I mean, we're here, man. And then let's go to page 4. Page 4 should show the value of this property here. Let me see here. Okay, and you're about to be like really close to becoming a millionaire with your second deal. Look, indicated value by sales comparison is 725,000. Gross monthly rent 5,800. They're saying it's 870,000. So we got a lease tomorrow. We're about to ink for 6,000, which would put your property from an income approach about 900, and your sales comparison 7.25. Danny, you seeing this, man? How close that property is? This is it right here, man. And look, let me show you when this was done here, when this report was done. Look, this was last month, everybody. Right?
Oh, so he just got done.
He just got, yeah, man. He just got done
over there when we went over there the first time.
Yeah, so I mean, look, man, you know, he's gonna be in it for 200. It's gonna be worth 7.25, and then he's gonna have a 2 lots worth 100. And you're gonna make $600,000 off one property, son. You know, I mean, look, that's a killer deal. It is, and I'm not gonna tell you that you find them deals every day, but kind of do. Maybe not in the single family realm, but in multifamily, certainly. I wouldn't even do most multifamily deals to make 600 grand. I just wouldn't. And so the question that I want to ask you all is, why work another 5 years to end up in the same? Why did they sell it? I mean, Donald, can you pull up some pictures of it? Man, it's in bad shape.
I mean, they was moving to a different location too, and they just had a lot of legal troubles with it as well.
Yeah.
And
if we pull up all the liens against it,
yeah, I can
you know,
did you post any of those of the new one? I have the old one, but
this is a new one here. You know, I can send you
pull it up on the auditor.
Yeah, no, I can't. Here, man, let me just. Oh, this was us down here today. Here, I'll send this to you, Donald, so you can pull this up.
Okay.
And this is the guy over there, Trey. He's on this call here. He came and walked us, man. Trey was like, man, he's in Cincinnati. He follows me on social media. He knew exactly where the property was. And you know, like he had a history like me, man. He went to prison. He's homeless right now. He's living in his van. I was like, man, you come over here. I'll show you how to do this, bro. Like literally, that was today. You know, and I'm not gonna tell you which guy he is in this picture, but I'm telling you, man, Trey, you can do it, bro. He's from Detroit. He's down in Cincinnati. Donald, you're gonna share that picture? Well, you know what? Don't share that one here. Hold on. Let me do this. I don't want to. Let me do one without Trey in it. You know what? Nah, Okino got the one without Trey. That's cool. You can throw Trey in there. But you know, we all struggle in life at times, everybody. And it's not about you know, if you're gonna struggle or when you're gonna struggle. We all struggle. It's just a matter of what you're gonna do about it. So yeah, here's a picture. This house. All right.
You can just take a screenshot of the video.
Oh yeah, here. Yeah, you're right. All right, so
there's you, Okino, and Jerry's in front of the property.
Oh yeah. You're right.
And
so here, let me send you this. Huh?
That's inside. Is that inside the new one right here, Caden? From this week?
Yep. That's today.
Yeah.
Good picture.
Yeah. Oops. Hold on. Here, I'm gonna send this to you, Donald. This is one here. I just texted to you here.
Goofy.
Oh yeah, it's a perfect picture. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's ugly, man. But we got somebody painting the exterior and fixing the wood and doing a tuck point for how much, Caden? How much did you get that?
$6,000.
$6,000, man. Watch how good this house look when that's done. $6 grand. Yeah, put that one back up. That one right there. The roof's already done. That's the inside of it after we started demoing it. The window guy's coming down tomorrow. That tree fell like while we were waiting for it to close. Listen, Ethan Bishop said Cincinnati has some great opportunities. There's great opportunities everywhere. You guys just got to know how to buy. They wanted 220,000 for this property, man. We offered them 40. You know, they took 48. I mean, look, you just got to ask the question, man. You just got to find the rundown properties. They're all over there in every city, all around the country, all around the world. And when you're in them higher markets like California and Seattle, you can make even more money. The spreads are bigger, man, because the properties are worth more. So, all right, I'm in Cincinnati, Ethan. That's where I'm at. Hey, all right, go ahead. Let's go to the next question.
Let me pull it up here. Gotta minimize all my windows. Someone was asking about like turnkey properties. What are your thoughts on that, where you don't have to do a renovation?
I mean, look, here's the deal. Let's say you go work for 3 years and you save up enough money to buy one turnkey property. Okay. You know, you make 50, 60, you save up $70,000. Now you have $70,000 net worth. Your net worth went from cash to down payment. Now you got to wait for all that stuff to really blow up, right? And so, hold on, let me go in here real quick. This is oh, guess I got to call my attorney about this, man. They trying to sue me on this property that Hamilton County is. Let me find something else over here. So I want to find my right here it goes. Okay, let me show you guys how you really become wealthy quick. It's not from working and saving money. This Zoom right here.
Zoom's right here.
Oh, okay. It's not from working and saving money. It's having assets to go up in value for you. So, you know, let me go over here to just right here. So we have a whole template that we put together. Showed this to you guys. And, you know, if you've been on here before, I've showed this to you. This is the roadmap here. This is your 5-year roadmap right here to retirement. This is all you really got to do. And so first year, you're going to have to buy 2 properties. Caden, can you get 2 properties done?
That's what we're doing right now. We're gonna have 2
Okay,
properties
you got
done in 4 months.
2 properties in 4 months. So you're way past this trajectory, right?
Yeah.
But most people can't fathom, like, how hard is this, man? Is this hard compared to school?
Yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
And that's why I think so many people settle for mediocrity, because in school, they make things so easy for you that when you go out here and you got to push it, like, is it hard for you to push your brain to the next level?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, it's just exhausting and mentally just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but is it really exhausting, or is your mind just not strong enough?
I guess if you say it on that level, I guess.
So probably the mind ain't strong enough yet.
Yeah, I guess.
So we're going to train your mind to be better. So here's kind of like what you got to understand. Now, if he was to do the basic and he bought, you know, 6 million worth of real estate and he owned 4.5 million on it, using that same down payment, you can't grow that 1.5 million net worth right there by saving down payments. You have to save the 1.5 million cash. How long is that going to take you to do? Right? So Caden, in 60 and 120 days, you'll be up about at least 700,000 in equity. Now, if he's an 18-year-old kid and he wants to go out and he wants to start saving for 700,000, that's going to take him 15 years. By that time, 700,000 is only worth 300,000. So you're chasing a losing battle. But if you can get 700,000 worth of equity, that's 700,000 worth of equity. Let's say it's on 1.5 million, $2 million worth of debt. That $2 million will be worth 3 million in 15 years, maybe 4. It'll double. It'll be worth 4 million. So now you'll have $4 million plus your 7, and you only started with 1.3 in debt. So now you got 2.7 in equity from 700,000. On top of that, you paid now your 1.3, you got 3 million. So instead of 300,000, you can't you run out of money trying to save money to buy assets. You just can't. Look, you're looking for a cheat code. It's not here. Maybe go buy some crypto. Maybe go do something else. It's the cheat code is right here. It's the BRRRR method, but it's not like, well, I don't want to do the work. I don't want to put the work in. I still want to get it. I wish I knew. I don't know that way. I know this way right here, and this way is tried and true. And I've built over $100 million in equity on properties doing this. So this is what I can teach on. This is what I know how to do.
Following up, Kay is asking, so you don't use a hard money or private money lender, you just get the property for a low price because it's run down?
Nah, man, we do all that. I mean, right now he just don't need it because he ain't scaling. If he's buying 6 at a time, 7 at a time, 8 at a time, like we got money. So I can help Caden out, right? But I didn't grow up with money. So I went out and did that. So if you don't have no money, you make sure that your kids have that opportunity that Caden has. That opportunity is not going to come from you going to work every day. That opportunity is not going to come from you feeling like, oh, this is hard. Like, man, who cares? I mean, listen, so what? America was built on hard backs. Whether your family came over here on the Mayflower and walked through, or whether it was forced over here from Africa. Like, we tough here, man. America's tough. So toughen up, man. Quit looking for easy stuff, man. We're not looking for easy, man. We're looking to get results. And if some of us could go back and talk to our great grandpa or grandma and tell them what we're struggling with, come on, man. You really gonna have that conversation with them? Knowing the stuff that the history of the United States, knowing the stuff that our great forefathers had to go through. Come on, man. Like, it's not time to be weak, it's time to step up. Go ahead, Donald.
Yeah, I have Adrian says, I'm an 18-year-old watching from Michigan. I work 6 to 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. I don't have a credit card. How would you go about starting?
Okay, and you got any advice for him?
Now, I'll start off on, you just got to get the knowledge. Like my dad was just saying, working, you got to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, working 2 extra days a week, maybe making a couple $100 extra a week isn't going to get you there. You got to get the knowledge. The knowledge, if you get the knowledge, that's what's really going to get you there.
So
just get knowledge on how to do.
How could, like, okay, if you ain't have me as a father, but you had the knowledge you have right now,
Yeah,
and you had no money, what would you do? And it can't be rob a bank.
man, I'd have less chances making money doing that. I'd wholesale. I'd wholesale.
What's wholesale mean?
You find a property. Let's say you find it for 50K. You get it under contract for 50K. You go to somebody else. You mark it up. You say you'll sell it to them. This for 70K. You're basically selling them the contract for $70,000 to buy it for 50,000. That's all you're doing. So you're profiting whatever the difference is between those two.
It's called assigning the contract, selling the piece of paper.
Yeah. Like I know we had one of those on our house. It happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, if I was working full time, I would probably, nah, I mean, it depends. If I was living with my parents still, I would get a VA and do it.
Okay, you would work full time and you would pay a VA to do what?
Wholesale deals for me. Or not wholesale deals, but find deals for me to
So,
wholesale.
okay, you would go to work every day, you would stay with your parents, and then you would pay a VA to do what?
To find the deals for me to wholesale.
Your virtual assistant.
Yeah.
How much you got to pay a virtual assistant?
$40 a day.
$40 a day. How many dials are they going to do?
600 it is, right? A day.
Yeah, about $600 a day. So you're paying somebody $40 a day. See what his mind's already thinking? That's not worth my time. But most of the time we start working for money, we think, well, I don't want to pay somebody that. I could do it myself. Well, you can make your own pizza too, but most of the time we don't. So you have to think about the value. It's called, you want me to tell you the truth, man? It's called human capital. It's called human capital. That's what they call it when we run in businesses. We need some more human capital. You know what that means? I'm going to go get some more humans to make me some more capital. I know that's the business term, man. I didn't make it up. Don't get mad at me. But that should make you, I ain't saying to make you sick, but it should make you think like, hold on, they hire more people just so they can make more money? Yeah, that's what they do. Who is A? All right, next question.
All right, so we have Tracy saying this. I know a few people are talking about where to buy. Tracy's comment, I guess I have to figure out how to buy outside my area because everything around me is inflated.
Tracy, you cannot be more wrong. And I'm going to prove it to you. Give me your zip code. I'm going to show you guys all these excuses people make. It's not there, Tracy. Give me your zip code. I'm about to go find a property right now that traded in the past 6 months in your neighborhood that you missed out on. If you're in a disclosure state. Where's she at? Where you at, Tracy?
Maybe she left. Tracy. I don't see her in the group in the Zoom anymore.
Okay.
Why don't you just look up a random zip code? Or
And
just
we have
take
some
the zip
people.
code
We have some
somebody's
people
giving you.
dropping some. You want to look up one of the ones in the Zoom that people are dropping?
Well, let's go to the next question. We'll see if Tracy answers.
Okay. Okay, so Kay is asking, that's for wholesaling, but if I am actually no, I want to do your other question, Kay. If working full time, how would I manage the renovation? I'm having trouble figuring out how to keep my 9 to 5 and do this.
Okay.
What did you say? Sorry, I was texting my guy back, my contractor.
Oh, tell him what contract you were just texting back.
Phil, I'm just trying to get this stuff confirmed for tomorrow.
Okay.
But what did you say?
She
Sorry.
was just saying, how do you do this whole like manage the renovation process if you're working a full-time job?
If you're working a full-time job, it is harder. You just got to work more and you got to be more organized. You got to be really organized if you're going to be working a full-time job while you're doing it, because you can't really talk to your guys while you're working. You probably only got like 2-3 times a day you get to talk to them. So what you probably got to do is you just got to, on the weekends, you got to go through, make a list, make a very detailed list of what they have to do, and then just have them check it off when they're doing that. That's what I had one of my guys do yesterday at my first property, because I was over at my second property a lot yesterday. So I just went through the property, made a checklist of everything that needed to be done, what materials were needed, and then just put them all the materials upstairs so he had them, and then just gave him the list, and then he just checked off on all that stuff. So that's what
do you guys recommend hiring like a GC or a contractor to help manage it if you can't be there at the property all day?
I mean, you can't really do that because they're not going to push it like you, because they don't really care. I mean, I'm sure you probably can find somebody, but
I mean, what we do
chances
is
that happen.
what we do, Donald, is we use working managers there. In other words, the supervisor is also going to be working. You find somebody that's like, okay, this guy knows how to, his skill, like you give him the scope, you tell him what you need done. Like, look, most of the time, to be honest with you, man, like these are subcontractors. So the demo guy, subcontractor, exterior paint guy, subcontractor, plumber, subcontractor, electrician, subcontractor, drywall guy, subcontractor, framer, that might be hourly guy, but subcontractor, flooring, subcontractor, cabinet, everybody's subcontracted. They know the scope, they know the timeline, they know the deadline. You had the materials there, it's got to be done today. I need these cabinets in. The granite's coming. They're coming to measure the granite tomorrow, bro. Do not leave until you get my lowers in, right? So it's really setting expectations and having systems put together for that.
Okay, somebody on YouTube's asking, so do you work on the house yourself or do you pay people to fix the house up yourself?
Okay.
Mimi,
Yeah.
you pay people to fix it yourself because is a person who's buying the property. You're paying people to demo. You're paying.
Hold on. Look, guys, you got to understand something, man.
How much your time?
All right, hold on. Look, guys, you got to understand what your time's worth. Caden, let's go through here. Your first, and you guys got to really understand this. Once you understand this will give you a little bit of an insight as to how people look at money. So your first deal, you made $150,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you were in that that took you 2 months. So that took you 60 days roughly, right?
Yeah.
Out of them 60 days, you were on a cruise with me for 7.
I'm still working.
You still work. So you had 60 days. What do you think you worked an hour on this?
A day.
Yeah, every day of the week. Like,
And,
you know, Saturday and Sundays was less. You may have worked 10, 11 hours some days. But what did you work on this?
Probably on average over 7-day average, probably like 7 or 8.
Okay, so 60 times 8 hours a day. You work 480 hours. Okay? To put that in perspective, you made $150,000 divided by 480 hours. Okay? Now, there's $312 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So what job is there that you're paying any of your contractors $312 an hour?
There is none.
What's the most you're paying one of your contractors?
Most I'm paying, I think, is electrician. He charges by job, but on average,
He's probably about
$50,
$50, $60, $70 an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, so look, it doesn't make sense to do the work. Now, on this next property, you're probably going to be in there, let's say 500 hours, right? And let's say you make 600,000 in equity, and you got, let's say you got, 550 hours in it. Okay. I mean, look, that's 1,090 an hour. You guys have to start looking at your time is relative to like, what am I going to do? Now, are you going to do a $20, $30 an hour job if you can make $1,000 an hour? I certainly hope not. Now, I will tell you this. I've cleaned toilets when I was making $1,000 an hour. I've leased units when I was making $1,000 an hour. I ran to the store in my Bentley, even Ferrari, and threw stuff in my car because I needed to get it on a job. It doesn't matter when I have to get a job done. You got to do what you got to do, right? But it's a sense of scaling up and using your time to do the work. Your time is better utilized managing the job, managing the contractors, making sure the financials are on point, getting the place leased back up, finding the next deal. That's your job. That's what pays the money.
That's a phenomenal breakdown. We need to do that more often for people to see the.
Well,
the
when I first did this, I had a goal to buy 4,000 units with some guys, and I couldn't get them to focus, and they were all over the place. And they were like, and the guy said, "Well," and I'll find it and I'll show it to you guys. And I said, "So if you want to do a house with your spouse," because he was like, "Well, what if I want to do a house with my spouse on the side?" I said, "Dude, look," and I broke it down. And this was when I first came out of bankruptcy, and I forecast we were all going to make $684 an hour, and we ended up making 900 something an hour. And this was over the course of several years. That's how I was able to retire in 30 months because I had started to understand my time. What do I want to spend my time doing? So go ahead, man, answer a couple more, and then I'm gonna have you go start me a fire, and you can go in. I know you got to call your contractors, get ready for the next day. But I do want to, you know what, real quick, tell me, so what did you get done today for demo? What do you got to do tomorrow? We're meeting the window guy there at 9:00. We're meeting a guy who wants to lease it out for $6,000 a month tomorrow, right? 9:00. Trey, I'm sure he'll be back over there. What else you got to do tomorrow? Is the electrician coming?
Tomorrow, he said, yeah, he could come. He said, just send him the address. He hasn't given me a time yet, but who else coming tomorrow? Those people he said probably get a plumber over there soon too, because we already got a lot of the demos.
You got to find a plumber. Are you going to use the same plumber you used last time? No, why not?
Too much hassle.
What was the hassle? Oh, you know what? You got to put an HVAC unit on that third floor too.
Yeah.
Did that lady ever answer back with did she ever answer back
No,
zip code?
she didn't. No.
Okay, so here let's take let me see. Jose said, let's go find one here. Let's see where Jose's at. He said, I'll wait. Jose, you still there, brother? Jose? Let me know if he's there. If he is, I'll do his.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so Jose's here. Yep. 96826.
Okay. Where's that? California?
It sounds like it.
96826. Oh, that's Honolulu. Okay.
Whoa, Jose,
All right.
challenge on, Jose
There's
says.
no challenge here, man. This easy money, baby. I'm telling you, it's anywhere in the country. See, watch this here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna see what sold. Now, Jose. Now look here. Now we're gonna go see what's sold cheap. Watch this here. We're gonna go see what's sold for under 150,000 here. We're gonna go find our
Change
area.
the max. Does it change the maximum?
Oh yeah, that's max. Okay. Uh, zero. Let's go to 150. Watch this here. Uh, okay, hold on a second. Let me go. Home type, townhomes, multi, condos. Oh, look. Come on, man. Don't play with me, Jose. Come on. Let's get this money, baby. 29 units. We in Hawaii. Come on, man. All right, here goes one. It's over 217,000. What is this? 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Here goes one that sold for 1 bedroom, 1 bath for 60 grand. It's over 35 million right next door. All right, we got some variances here in value here. So let me go see if I can find some bigger stuff here. Some not bigger, but some more discrepancy on the values here. Sold 19 units here. Okay. That was a 19 unit. Look, 139 grand. I bet you there's some right here. This sold cheaper than 139. Let's see. Look, here goes 323. So sold bed, baths, more. Any.
He's saying those are like lease and hold properties, I guess at some apartment buildings or something.
Yeah, I know the larger ones are, but like we talking about doing the BRRRR method. We talking about things you can BRRRR. So if I go in here and I find an area, here goes 50,000 here. What can I buy for 50 grand? A 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Look, here goes a 2 bedroom here. So let's see what's up here. What's going on with this part here, man? Like, okay, them are rental properties there.
I think this is the part we drove through that was kind of like just not as nice.
This is where you want to be at. This is where the money's at. You know, this is where you get the money at here. So here goes one for 147, a 1 bedroom studio. Look at that. Sold for 146. And right here, same building. Look at that, 60 grand. Come on, man. There's money over there, man. You can find this stuff anywhere, everybody. It's all over, even in Hawaii. You know, I mean, that's a good lick there. If it's only, a few hundred square feet, how much you think is 400 square feet? How much you think it's going to take to renovate that thing?
Right, 20.
Look, 99 grand. There's got to be some properties there that are worth more than that. 99 grand.
You only have it up to 150K.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, you're right, Kane. Here. That's right. So here, let's take that off. And here. Now we got 3 units over here. Let's see what they sold for here. So 3 units.
Somebody's asking, why are you looking at properties that sold? Wouldn't you want to see what's for sale?
No, because he said that you can't find anything in Hawaii. Like, yeah, you can. Because properties over here in Hawaii that are selling for, literally 80,000, 100,000, and then right next door is 335. It's properties everywhere in the country, man. Like there just is, man. It's everywhere. So I want you guys to know that you can do this anywhere. If you can do it in Hawaii, there's nowhere you can't do it. Look, this one here, $82,000 here for 468, 70,000, like 60,000. You got stuff right over here next to this. What's this selling for? That's rent for 2,700. 316 in the same block. Look, 625 square feet. Like, why is that worth so much more? Like, can you renovate it? Can you get the same thing out of it? So there's all over you can find deals anywhere in the country. You drop me in on a plane. Look, I'm a millionaire and I could be broke in 30 days. It's not hard, man. It's just understanding and having the knowledge.
Broke? in 30 days?
No, I could be broke and in 30 days I'll be a millionaire. Okay, so Jose said because these properties are fee simple. Fee simple meaning that there's something on the title, and it could be Jose, but do you think that the one that's sold for 200 is not fee simple? The one that's sold for 50 is fee simple? So what he's saying is there's some different stuff there. And he could be right, but I'm telling you, and he says no, but we don't know that. You know, we're speculating right now that they are fee simple or that they're not. But all I'm saying, Jose, is there's a ton of money to be made everywhere. I got one of my I got a group out in Hawaii, out in Honolulu. We got a group out there. I went and met with them last winter. They're buying out there, man. They're finding deals that you can make 400 or 500 grand on. They had one out there on the beach.
Let's go through a couple of things. Connor's asking how late do we plan on going to? We're gonna go for a few more minutes, Connor.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna do a few more questions, man. Kate, why don't you go over there and start me a fire, man? I'm gonna sit outside for a while.
but
I'm telling Phil, I think we could punch it all out tomorrow.
You can get all done tomorrow. I'll tell them how many guys you need. Just bring them on so you can get it done.
Okay.
we'll send a text out around noon tomorrow. Just getting you the replay. So if you registered for tonight, we can send you guys the replay tomorrow too. If you have to hop off. I know Connor said he had another thing going on. So
Thanks, son.
okay, so we have Jay saying y'all are definitely motivating me to find a property ASAP, like right now. Nate,
Listen, everybody, it's not about going to find a property right now. It's about getting the skills to know what you're buying. I don't want you to just rush out there and buy a property, man. You got to know what you're doing. Like, look, if you guys, man, don't think you're gonna take my $500 million in experience and I'm just gonna be easy. That's what I'm telling you. It's not easy. Like I went through living hell learning this stuff, man. I have a training that I put together for you guys, man. It's free. It's a 5-year roadmap to explain what I'm talking about in detail. If you guys want that, I can send it over to you, man. Just comment 5-year below. But if you guys really want somebody to help you hold your hand and be there with you all the time, man, I got you, man. I can help you out with a mentorship. Just say mentor and I'll get you on a call about that. Or just jump on here every Tuesday with us. You know, I appreciate you guys being on here. And I also got another live on Thursday at 12 o'clock. My partner Jairus has got about 30 million in real estate. He started off, he was the first person I mentored in 2015. He didn't have a single house. Look, guys, it's an unlimited money glitch. You're going to have challenges along the way. You're going to have buildings flood. You're going to have people die in them. You're going to have people not pay your rent. You're going to have times where you second guess yourself. But 5, 6, 7 years in, man, you become a millionaire, multimillionaire. You step back and say, you know what? It was worth it. And I'm just being real with you, man.
I want to share this real quick before we read some more questions, Nate. Kay Reed says, I did 17 and a half years in federal prison. I'm not ashamed. I've been home 5 years. I own 5 duplexes, 2 plots of land, approved to do new construction on one, own a credit repair company, 764 to 823 FICO score, and over 400K in credit cards. Not trying to brag, but I've been through a lot. I use prison like college.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something, man. I've been to prison too. And that's why it's so easy for me to do real estate. Because everybody's like, it's hard to find an electrician. I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on. What have you been through hard in life, man? It's not hard. Like, I got sent away to an orphanage when I was a kid. So when they say my contractor didn't show up, I'm like, let's get another one. It's not hard, man. It's just a matter of, are you going to be a solution-based person or a problem-based person? In other words, every day you got to come up with solutions. I love coming up with solutions. I actually would get bored if life was any easier than it is. I like a little bit of a challenge because that's where you're growing.
Luigi's asking, how much would you need to start investing?
You don't need anything. You need knowledge. Now, once you get the knowledge, because see, if you don't have knowledge, you're just a consumer. In other words, if I said, hey, go get 30, 40, 50,000 in these credit cards, people just, they look at debt as bad because the only thing they know how to do with credit cards is consume. They don't know how to invest. So until you understand investing, which they're not going to teach you in school, they're not going to teach you in college, they're conditioning you to work the rest of your freaking life, man. That's what they're doing. They want you to get on that highway. They want you to get in that rush hour traffic. They want you to go to McDonald's and wait in line. They want you to go to Starbucks and wait in line. I don't like to go there when it's a line. I like to go when everybody's at work. It's like I got a whole Starbucks to myself, right? Me and a couple other entrepreneurs. Same with the highway. And so if you learn how to use money as a tool to make more money, then the real answer is you can leverage those 0% credit cards. And if you don't have credit, we got to get your credit together. It's not that hard. It may take 6 months or 12 months. It's like being like I'm fat, right? If I wanted to get a six pack, I could get there in probably 12 months, right? But I got to be consistent. I got to eat healthy, and I have to make a decision that that's worth it to me, right? And I can tell you tomorrow morning, it's not going to be worth it to me. I might go to the gym, but I'm probably going to go to the steam room for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go row 2,500 meters, and then I'm good. You'll never get a six-pack doing that. And you'll never get wealthy putting in 30 minutes a day into something that you want to have massive success at. You have to become almost obsessed with it.
Asnani is asking, how do you find wholesalers to find more deals in your market?
Wholesalers are easy to find, man. You know them signs that go around saying I buy houses? Those are wholesalers. Just call them, say, hey, man, hey, I need a house. Now here's what I do. I'd call them, I say, hey, listen, man, I'm new to the city. I am an investor. I got cash. I can close quick, but I'm not necessarily going to jump in front of everybody in his line. Because it was a go-to wholesaler. He's been wholesaling for 5, 10, 15 years. He got a list already. So here's what I tell him. I say, hey, listen, man, you get in a bind, you're at the closing table, the deal blows up on you, call me. I can come in and close it the next day, same day, right? That's how you get in with the wholesalers. Because he may say, man, I don't even want my fee. I just don't want the deal to blow up. He may have been making 15, 20,000. And I call him and say, hey, man, if the deal's blowing up, call me, man. I'll jump in there. And then next time, now you're at the top of their list. You just hacked all the way to the top of their list. Don't be cheap with people, man. If there's money to pay the wholesaler, man. That's why I see so many people, they got the scarcity mindset. They don't want to pay people for their time. Man, pay people for their time. Do that. Pay the wholesaler for his time. He out here trying to hustle. He got a family just like all of us. Now, pay him what it's worth to you. And maybe you got to explain to him, look, I can't let you make 15 grand on this. I can get you 3 grand on it, right? Next one, maybe you can make more, but this one ain't got the margins for me. Go ahead, Donald.
Kay is asking, would you BRRRR in mobile home parks?
No, I would not. Here's why. Okay, let me show you guys something. Let's say you buy a mobile home for $50,000, right? All right. So let's say you buy a mobile home. You follow my formula. You buy 30 mobile homes, right? They cash flow them pretty good. You got $1.5 million in assets. Every year, they lose 3% of their value. So times 0.97 to the power of, let's say, 5 years. It's going to compound backwards. Look at that. Your $1.5 million worth of assets is now worth 1.28 million. But if I would have bought $1.5 million in assets, and they probably going down less than more than that, and I'm getting a 5.5% appreciation to the power of 5 years, watch what it's worth. Look at that. See that? I'm up 700,000. I'm up 460,000. The other guy's down 300. It just doesn't make sense, man. You want to own appreciating assets that you can continue to borrow capital out of over and over and over again. Does anybody think that 5.5% is not normal, that you can't get that? Watch this here. You know, real estate doubles in value about every 11 to 12 years. You guys know that? Let's go back and look and see. 1963, 17,800. What's Somebody take 17,800 times that by 2. What's that worth there? Somebody, anybody? Come on, man. It's simple math, man. It's 20 or 35,600. Just doing it in my head. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Has anybody else got that? Huh?
Drop in the chat,
Okay.
y'all. Pull up your
What's
calculator, drop in the chat.
11 years from 1963? What's 11 years from that? 1974. Let's see. 1974 was the housing values. Come on, man. Come on. I don't make this stuff up. I study charts and graphs. I know what I'm doing. Okay. What's 11 years from 1974? What's double 35.6? 71.2? Oh, hold on. Want to be accurate. That's quarter one, 17.8. Let's go to first quarter of 74. First quarter of 74. Look, we almost doubled it. Okay. Pretty close. 35.6 to double up. We had 35.2. Let's double 35.2. What's double 35.2? Everybody, what is it?
70,400.
No, in the chat. Read the chat, man. Are they putting it in the chat?
No, I'm waiting for them. Y'all need to pull your calculators out or do it in your head. Yep. Okay, we got 70,400 for a couple people.
Okay, what is and y'all type this in. What is 11 years from 1974?
Say 1985.
So we're looking for 70,400 in 1985. Let's see. First quarter. Come on, bro. We got more than a double up. Okay. Now, what's 82,800 times 2?
$164. Nilo's saying.
I mean, 165,
600.
600. Okay. What's 11 years after 1985?
$1996. Tap saying.
Okay. Okay. So where we at? We didn't quite get a double up, but we still up 60. We still up 60 grand, right? What's double 137? 274. What's 11 years on top of 96?
2007.
Where we at? 274, 257. Look at that, man. We almost doubled up. Now we hit a slight recession. We probably have a little bit of so what's double 257?
Drop in the chat. We got 514.
Hit 514. Now look, we're starting to slow down a little bit, but we're playing with bigger numbers. So now we have 514,800 and we going to 2017. So we didn't get there, but we still up 80 grand. Now, now we're at 313. By 2028, where do you think we're going to be at? Right now, we peaked at 446 and we've come back down a little bit to 412. So look, if you start to understand that the value of properties will always go up because the way that people underwrite properties is by a percentage of people's income. And every year they give people a raise. But the real people that are making wealth is the people that own real estate. And if you go to the federal or U.S. debt calculator. Let's go to the U.S. debt calculator. Debt clock here. Oh, man. Let's go to the U.S. debt clock, man. You guys seen this before? This is why, see this here? The national debt, right? That's printing of money right here. That's printing of money. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to continue to happen? See, they're just devaluing currency right here. They're devaluing it by printing more. Look at this, man. They just, look, 400, 500. This one 100,000 in debt. Look, this one another 100,000 in debt. This thing doesn't stop. 100,000 in debt, another 100,000 in debt. They just went $1 million in debt since I pulled this up. So when you understand that money will continue to go down in value the rest of your life because they'll print more of it, it'll be worth less. Why would you want to save something that's going down in value? Right? You buy things that are going up in value with that worthless dollar. So you take that worthless dollar that's going to be worth less. And even if I borrow $1 million, I got to pay $2 million back over 30 years. In 30 years, $1 million is only worth 300 grand. But I bought an asset that tripled in value, right? So I bought an asset with that million that went to 3 million. And now I only had to pay them back 2 million, but that 2 million was like 300,000. I didn't even have to pay it back. The tenant did, or whoever I leased the property to did. So guys got to really understand how money works. And wealthy people do not want to make income. The only people that want to make income is poor middle class and upper middle class. They want to make income. Wealthy people don't want to make income. When you make income, you got to pay income taxes. They want to have assets to continue to go up in value that they can borrow money out of. Somebody else pays the debt. It's the BRRRR method, right? Why? Don't get mad at me because I'm telling you this. I'm not talking down on anybody. Please listen. I watch my family struggle for so long. They still struggle because they don't know. And most of them don't. They're not. You guys are on the call. You want to know, right? You want to do something about it. But most of them, if you tell them the stuff I'm telling you, they'll think, oh, no, that's not for me. You know, I grew up poor. I'm supposed to stay poor. Like, come on, man. Who told you that? So the wealthy people get all the debt. They own all the assets. They make all the money. When they make money, they go buy more assets. The middle class and upper middle class and poor people pay for. They either rent the properties, they buy the goods and products and services. You think the goods and products and services you're going to go buy tomorrow, you think they don't have debt? They got a lot of debt. You think the job you're going into tomorrow doesn't have debt? They got debt. That's how they employ you. And as the value of their company goes up in value, they're able to go loan and borrow money against it because they got consistent, predictable income that they can demonstrate to the bank. Here, I got more money coming in. And if they go cash out, I'm going to tell you guys, man, this year we did a $12 million cash out refi. $12 million, one property. You know how much tax we had to pay on that? $0. Hey, I just want to give you guys a game. What you do with it is up to you. So again, you want this 5-year roadmap? It's free. Get this 5-year roadmap. It's going to explain this in depth for you guys, man.
Yeah, so just drop 5-year in the chat if you haven't got the training. Our team will send that to you. I have a couple of people asking about the lender to drop their information, so I'll drop that now. That's Adam from Mortgage Exchange. So I'll drop the link right now in the chat.
Yeah, it's a good friend of mine. I've known Adam since 07, 06,
Yeah.
since I got into
You guys are
real
old,
estate.
man. You known him that long. Wow.
Man, listen, man, I started dyeing my hair. I'm so old, bro. I'm just kidding, but I'm about to.
Someone is asking, is Columbus, Georgia, one of the states that is great for investing?
Columbus, Georgia is not a state. That's a city.
I was just reading how it was said. Sometimes I spell check people and sometimes I just read it.
I know, man. I'm just kidding, man. I ain't doing no English stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, does anybody want me to pull up a co-star so you can look at this and see? Anybody?
Yeah, let's
Keep
do
going
it.
through the questions. Keep going through the questions. We'll see.
Okay, so David keeps asking this. I'm gonna read two questions and they're
One
kind
at a
of
time. One at a time.
I know, well, they're two different areas though. So if somebody's asking, I'm short 240 to buy a property in the Bahamas. How do I fund it? And then I have a second person asking about the Dominican Republic. So I mean, what are your thoughts on out of
And
US?
listen, man, I don't know. I'm not qualified to answer any questions outside of the United States because I don't know. I really don't. I know how our money functions. I know a lot about our monetary system. Bahamas, I don't know anything about it. I don't know about the regular. I just don't. So I'm sorry, I can't help you. Now, if you're in the Dominican Republic and you want to buy in the United States, Adam can help you. If you are a Canadian national and you want to buy in the United States, he can help you too. But and I'm sorry, but I really don't know. It's not my area of expertise.
All right, did you want me to give you a zip code or you want me to keep doing questions?
No, man, nobody said they wanted to see that. So just keep on
Oh,
moving, man.
I haven't dropped his zip code in Georgia.
That's one person, man. We got 85 people on here.
Okay.
So, like, if you guys want to see, like, like, hey, man, this is not a dictatorship, man. This is a democracy. We got to have some votes.
If you want to see Nate breaking down an area on CoStar and
Just say yes. If you guys want to, if you guys
yes.
want me to pull up CoStar and show you how you should be looking at data, like, guys, like, this is how you get wealthy. You get wealthy by having a high probability of knowing what's going to happen in the future in an area. Like I see this guy all over talking about buy these cheap Section 8 rentals in Odessa, Texas. Odessa, Texas is great right now, has great margins, but Odessa, Texas being driven strictly by oil. So they had a massive shortage of housing as oil prices went up. Guess what happens when oil prices go down? They go vacant. They go vacant. You get absolutely destroyed. You got to ask the questions a little bit deeper. What's driving that market? Okay. So let me go pull up CoStar. Looks like y'all want to see some CoStar.
Yeah, for the record, I saw all yeses and no nos. So
okay.
Zero no's. I think we got the vote there.
All right. So let me get my phone because I got to get this code to log in here. Guys, I pay like $1,600 a month for this. I'm starting an inner circle with a bunch of my academy students, and I'm gonna show them how to become billionaires. And doing that, I got these. Am I logged in here? It looks like I'm logged in. So let's go to market here. Columbus, Georgia is what we're gonna look at today. What's Columbus, Georgia?
The zip code Ivan gave was or you can do it that way too if you want.
Columbus, Georgia. I'm just gonna go here, pull a,
Okay.
I'm gonna pull a list here. All right, so let's look here, Columbus, Georgia here. Let's see what's going on. 9.1% vacancy rate, which is high. 7.1 stabilized, which is better, closer to average, which means that out of the 20,951 units right now, if you take 20,951 and you look at the difference between the vacancy and the stabilized, so take 20,951 times 0.02. Somebody do that real quick.
Times what?
20,951 times 0.02. There's a 2% difference here.
419.
Okay, so there's 419 units out here that have not rented, that have got their certificate of occupancy. They could be things just got their certificate of occupancy yesterday. They haven't had time to lease it up yet. Those are new units. That's good. That means that there's a lot of new units here. There's at least 450. Look, under construction here, there's 756 that got delivered. Only 263 of them got absorbed. So you see, that's the difference to 400 and something units. That's not good. That means that they built these high-end units and they're not getting absorbed. But we don't care. We buy BRRRR properties. You see the annual rent growth is 3.9. You know what's driving that? Them brand new units. And I'll show you how I know that because I do this all the time. Median household income growth is 3%. We got positive population growth. We got good job growth. I mean, not a bad city to invest in. Now, we're going to go find where to invest here. Let's look at the market report. I'm going to go show you exactly what part of Columbus you should be buying in, and I'm going to tell you why. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to tell you why I believe this. So apartment vacancies are volatile in Columbus, largely due to the market's smaller inventory at 9.1%. The Columbus vacancy rate is above a 10-year average. Vacancy spiked in first quarter 24 due to delivery of 340 units. There you go. See, it just came online, which is still leasing up. With the second quarter 24 delivery of 226 units. So look at that. Man, they got a lot of stuff delivered. The current at Riverfront Place vacancy spiked again, but this is likely to be relatively stable moving forward because they don't have any new projects getting delivered. Good. Now, let's go see what them things, look what that's causing in the market. See, this blue line is delivered. Orange is absorbed. Orange is absorbed. Orange is absorbed, meaning, man, you had a negative absorption right here. Must have been COVID, something happened, colleges. There's probably a college around there that caused this, right? Now, look at this here. All this came in, this landed, got absorbed. A little small building here, got absorbed, got absorbed, got absorbed. That was the big property here that just came online, got absorbed. Big property here, getting absorbed. Another big property closing about 140 units, it looks like. Absorbed, absorbed. And there's nothing in the forecast that is going to be coming online. So with population growth going up, you should be able to absorb them units there. We would want to dig deeper and see what's driving that industry, vacancy by bedroom. But here's what's important. Daily asking rent. We need the rent continue to climb. $1.05 is really cheap. You cannot build brand new units and charge $1.05 a square foot. And here's why. I'll do the quick math on it just so you guys can understand at a much more higher level. Where's my calculator at here? So it's cost to build 1,000 square foot unit is going to be at least, with hard and soft costs, at least $200 a square foot. Okay. So $200,000. Let's say you're running a 92%, or I'm sorry, hold on. 200,000. Let's say we're getting debt at 6%, but it looks like a 7%. Here's our debt payment. You know what? Let's say we put 20. Let's say we only borrow 75% of that. We put 50,000 cash down. We're borrowing 150,000. And let's say that we're borrowing this money at 6%, but it's got a 30-year AM, so it looks like 7.1 on paper. Our debt is 10,650. Okay, 10,650 is our debt per year. You guys understand that? Now on this apartment complex, it's 1,000 square feet. The average rent is, what was it over here? $1.05 a square foot, right? Where my calculator go here? Times a 1.05. 1,050 a month times 12 months. Okay, 12,600. I'm running let's say a 92% occupancy. And let's say my taxes, my insurance, my water, sewage, trash, landscape and maintenance, property management fees are $5,500 a year on that unit. That leaves me with $6,092. My debt payment was $10,000. It doesn't work. Not only did I put 50 grand down, I'm not making any money. I'm losing 4,000 a month. So that doesn't work. But we can find where this will work in this market. So then probably maybe subsidized units there, or may just be in a very niche area. So let's go see. Columbus, Georgia. And this is how you guys should be really buying properties. If you're not, you're gonna end up losing millions and millions and millions of dollars. So we're gonna just get rid of any price here over the course. These are the things that will either make you wealthy or keep you broke, is understanding this. Now, what I'm looking for is where are they building the new inventory at? So I always like to look at 2018, and there's probably not going to be a lot. Like you're going to see most of these disappear. Now, what I'm looking for is things that are closer to the city. This is kind of far out here. I'm looking for things that are closer to the city where the gentrification is happening. Let me get rid of this here, these lines here, because where it's at, it may be over here. These are brand new here. We got some stuff over here. I like this stuff here because watch this here. 413, 416. Let me see what this looks like. Man, that's big. That's new. That's not what I'm looking for. Maybe over in this neighborhood here, they're starting to build new stuff. It's by Columbus Riverfront Industrial Historical Area. Now watch this here. If I take these filters off, this neighborhood here is going to be the neighborhood. I would almost bet on it. Um, where you can pick up stuff for, 50, 60,000. And it's selling for, much more than that. So let's see here. I could be wrong. Boom. Look at this here. 40 grand. Told you. 40 grand, 54 grand. This is your neighborhood right here. It's where you want to be. Why? Because this is what's driving it here. You got new homes. You got the river over here. You got the historic area here. This is where your money's going to be. You got one new build here, which I don't like. I would drive this neighborhood and I would find out, it's going to be, and maybe it's over here, 150. And then that's a renovated 75, 70. Maybe it's this neighborhood here. But I just, man, these values are so cheap here. I'm looking for something at least jumping into the twos. Because it just ain't enough. Okay, maybe here. Here we go. 203 here. And I'm buying down the street for 85. Let's see here. Okay. It's still tough. That's 2,000 square feet. 30,000 here. So 28, you're getting outside the pocket over here though. So things are a little cheaper here. There's probably a little more hood. You want to stay over here where these things are starting to sell in the 200s. Look, here goes one, 65 grand. So look, this sold this year here. This is where you want to be. 2 doors down, it's over 245. You know exactly how you got to renovate this property. This one's 65. Look, almost the same house. 245, dress it up, clean it up, nice white paint. Let's see what they paid for this. This is a flip. So this is somebody flipped this property. They did a really nice job on it. Let's see what they paid for it. Look at that. Bought it for 22.5. Right there's your neighborhood. Right there's your neighborhood, bro. It's that easy to find these deals, man. Mm-hmm. See, that's money right there. They probably put 100 in it. They in it for 120, 130, maybe 140. They sold it for 245. I would have rather probably looked at renting it. Let's see what kind of rent you can get though. Okay. So, what kind of rents, 13, 1400, the rents just can't support any debt though, man. So it's kind of like not a great area, but if I lived there, I'd certainly buy it there and figure out a way to become wealthy. These rents are super low here. 1,500, 52 days ago, still on the market. A lot of inventory. I would dig a little deeper and find out exactly what is driving that market. And we could certainly do that, but I wouldn't go there to invest. If I lived there, I certainly would because I'd be vertically integrated. Does that make sense, everybody? Is that helpful? Right? That's the type of stuff we go over every day in our mentorship, right? And it's surface level. We go deep. We look at the factories that are coming. We look at the job multipliers. So if you guys really, want to know more, like if you want to hear about it is a paid mentorship. We have over 30 people that work for us in there. I'm probably 24, 25, Donald's one of them. That. And, we got 40 city groups across the country. We just got accountability coaches. We got everything you guys need to succeed, man. Learning from somebody that's done $500 million. That's me. But I've had a lot of people that have become millionaires that I've shown this to. And that's my goal, really, is to help you guys change your family's future.
Eric's asking, does better school districts influence where you buy to get more appreciation and cash flow?
Not really, because the better school districts, you're already paying a premium for the prices. You know, you want to go into an area this before Chick-fil-A gets there. You know, you want to be 5, 6, 7, 8 years before Chick-fil-A. You know, if Whole Foods gets there and Chick-fil-A's there, man, the prices are already there. And you can still find deals, don't get me wrong, but there's not huge swings. Like, it's hard to find a house for 40,000 that's worth $250,000 in them neighborhoods, right? So we're looking for, and I could show you, I mean, look, let's just go here with Caden. Let me go here with my son's, the one he just bought. I'm gonna show you guys right here. 45206. That's where he just bought at. And let's look at, sold. Look here. Apply. Look, there's stuff all over the place, man. Look, it's stuff, right here. 595. I don't know what that is. That like a funeral home. Okay, look, 80K. And look, 333K, 413K, 40K. That's a lot. Scratch that. Boom, 50K. Like, this is it right here. What's happening? 70K. Right next door. Hey, neighbor, 345. Right? Look, they ain't even, and this is Jarius's house, I think. This is Jarius's house, I think. This is one of my I know he owns one on Hemlock. Let me go see if this is his, man. I don't know if this is his or not. Probably not. But no, this ain't his because he don't put fridges in his. He doesn't. So I know this ain't his, but I know he just bought one on Hemlock. Let's go see 2513 Hemlock. Hamilton County Auditor. 2513 Hemlock. Let's see. Let's see who the owner is. 2513 Hemlock.
There's one more X on the top right. You can close that history thing out if you need.
Yeah. Search. And right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So core logic, okay. To meet transfer. Let's see. Raymond Johnson. Nope. Right, Norma Wright sold it to Raymond Johnson. Raymond Johnson bought it for 40, fixed it up, and sold it to meet Bryce. So that's not Jairus's. But he had one over there. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah, kind of in that same category. Leon was asking, been trying to buy this house, but it isn't a LLC. How do you find the people?
Easy, man. Like, no, he ain't make no 300,000 on that, Daniel. He had to renovate it. I mean, that's easy, man. Like you're buying, you're using, we got Deal Machine. I can show you how to use Deal Machine. Like, jump on the call Thursday. Jirius will show you how to find Thursday at 12 o'clock. Use the same link. Jirius, I'll show you how to find all that.
Yes, Thursday at noon, right?
Yeah, 12 o'clock noon Eastern time. Jirius will show you how to find that.
Yeah, he'll looking for off market deals and things like that. So, okay, cool, man. Any other questions, man? We've kind of wrapped up most of the questions, Nate. Anybody else have any last questions before we end?
So, Ivan said if we join the mentorship,
And he's talking about CoStar.
not CoStar is like $1,600 a month, man. That's expensive. I pay for that. I'm allowed to share the data, and we have a sheet that we put in. Now, I will tell you guys that in my inner circle that we're going to be launching, that's going to be for the people that are in my academy only. We will have a discount, but I had to sign a non-disclosure for that and had to buy 40 accounts. I got a better price. And I will pass that on. It's substantially less, but it still is expensive. It's hundreds of dollars still a month. It's not like, $50 a month. But this is the best data that you can get. We're buying 20, 30, 40, $50 million assets. This is what we're using. This is what I'm showing people, how to really buy stuff the same way that we did it. The same way now, if I come back and I'm showing my son exactly how to become a millionaire in 9 months. You guys are watching the journey. He's on day 62. By the end of this year, he'll likely be up over $600,000 or $700,000 net worth in 4 months. And certainly there's nothing easy about it, but certainly there's really nothing hard about it either. So Thursday call, Leon. You gonna get him that?
Yeah, I can drop Jairus's registration link
Okay.
for it. It's also, you could use the same link, but if you want to register to get
Yeah,
the
use the same link here, man. And guys, join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. It's time. Man, could you guys do me a favor, man? Next week, bring me some hard questions, man. Bring me some hard questions. Because I like to grow too. I don't like to be the only one on this call. Like I want some hard stuff that makes me think. Because I want you guys, I like the Bahama thing. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because it's just not something I'm going to do. But bring me some stuff that's hard, man. Because I really want to, challenge me. Hey, Tab, 4 years in the Fed, man. That's all right, man. Like, remember, your past does not determine your future. Today, what you're going to do with today, what you're going to do with tomorrow, that's going to determine your future, man. So again, if you haven't been through our 5-year roadmap, I think you all should get the 5-year roadmap. That'll help you. Whether you're on
it's a really good training.
Instagram, whether on YouTube, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on Facebook, we'll get that to you guys. And if you're tired of working and you don't see a path forward over the next 5 years, man, take a chance on yourself, man. Get at least on a call with us about our mentorship. It is paid, but you will get more value out of it than what you pay. You certainly will. And it's not something that you're going to get for 3 or 6 months. This is a lifetime of learning. Something that you'll have access to, coaches. Like I go live tomorrow. Jarius goes live after that. We got a lender in speaking. We got the people about doing them credit cards. They come in and speak. We got attorneys that speak. We got teach you guys about taxes. We have attorneys coming for that, 1031 exchanges, probate properties, anything. We got a weekly construction call. We got an expert that does fire, water, mold. All these things are high margin. You find a property with mold, most people get scared. We run towards it because we can do mold for 15 or 20 cents on a dollar. So if it's a $50,000 mold job, we can get it done for, 7, 8, 10 grand and get a $50,000 discount. We're already making 40 grand off of that. Fire jobs, just the whole gamut. That's what we do. But really, it's teaching you guys how to underwrite and understand the financials and understand what offer to make on the property, understand the system and processes from finding the deal off market to getting under contract to being able to understand what kind of lease, how you should qualify the tenant. We go through all that kind of step by step.
And then if you say, hey, like I'm not totally ready for maybe the academy or the mentorship yet, we have a free Facebook group called BRRRR Invest. We have one of the largest focused on real estate, almost 300,000 people. So feel free to join there. Obviously, we're live right now. Tons of great resources. Nate drops a bunch of educational posts on there. And then on Nate's website, oh, look at that, Nate, new picture. We have
can you Photoshop my double chin out of there, man?
I don't see nothing, bro. It's just a beard. It's just a beard.
Yeah.
NateBarger.com partners. There's a ton of different resources. Our lender, Fund and Grow, which was the business credit, off-market deal software, paint discount for PPG. So there's a ton of resources there that we've negotiated to get discounted prices for our public community. Hope you join there. If the academy just isn't a right fit right now, we really want to provide you guys a ton of value no matter where you're at in your journey.
Yeah, man. And the main thing is I want you guys that it may take you 6 months of a year to really wrap your brain around this stuff. So get on these calls because every time you'll learn a ton. And I'm not teaching you guys how to work for people. I'm teaching you guys how to work for yourself and change the way that your family tree is going to grow generationally. I'll leave you guys with one last thing here. What my son said earlier here was talking about going in debt. Well, most of us are afraid of debt. But if you just go over here real quick and we understand, let's say he has 4 million worth of assets here and, those 4 million worth of assets are growing, as I showed you earlier, times a 1.05. Let's just say to the power of, which is going to take this out 5 years. We'll take it out however many years we want. let's just say 5 years. What do you guys think this 4 million worth of assets is worth here? Anybody? Just guess at it. This is how you get wealthy in real estate. You guys go ahead and drop below. Let me know what you think, and I'll hit the equals button. In 5 years, that $4 million worth of real estate is likely worth. And remember, he had $1 million net worth, so only owed $3 million. Year 5, he probably owes about 3.7. This is worth 5.1. He's going to go borrow out again 75%. He raised the rents every month, so he's got 3.82. He only owes about 2.7. So he's cashing out $1 million tax free on that because he had 4 million worth of assets. They went up to 5.1. He borrowed 75% out. The reason he's able to do that because every year he raised the rent. So he's going to be able to cover the debt at a 1.2. He got 3.82 at it. He owed 3 million. And let's just say that 5 years later, he doesn't owe 3 million. He owes 2.8. So minus 2.8 million. He pays that original loan off. And he walks away with $1 million tax free. It's a loan. Loans are not taxed. And then you got the 5.1 million worth of assets. You continue to do the same thing. As I showed you earlier, say he hangs on to it for another 5 years. And to the power of 5 more years. You don't have to work anymore. It's worth 6.5. You go borrow 75% of that out. Remember, he borrowed 3.7. He probably only owes 3.5. Minus 3.5. He's doing another cash out refi. If this is how the wealthy do, they don't work for money. They have assets that go up in value in their sleep to continue to produce and bring in more cash flow. And when you understand, that, look at that here, paying down debt went up millions and millions of dollars. I think it went up $3 million since it's more than 3 million since we were on this chart. I don't even know what it was, but it was a lot, and understanding that is how people make wealth is by borrowing money, borrowing the bank's money, having other people pay the debt down for them. It seems so wicked, but it's a tool that we have. I say the reason it seems so wicked is because it almost seems like you're taking advantage of people that don't know. That's why I'm here to show you guys, because I want you to know. You're welcome. Thank you, Julie, Brock, for jumping on. Thank you, everybody else, man. I love you guys, man. I hope this is helpful. I hope it gets your mind thinking again about what you want to do with your future, what your future is likely to look like. Are you going to continue to work the rest of your life, or are you going to get you a system like these properties here that bring you in bring you in money in your sleep. And just for context, if you have, I'm not going to keep going, but look, just for context, this is what wealthy people do. They don't want income. They want assets that they can borrow out money against, liquidate the money out. One other thing that I didn't tell you is that when you borrow this money out, you get all the money back tax-free, but the new debt you created, that debt is a tax write-off for you. So every time your properties start to make more money, you want to strip that equity out because you get the cash and your property is responsible for the debt. So your cash flow will shrink. Remember what I told you? Wealthy people don't want income. So when you start to make income, you go borrow more money against it to shrink the income, pull the cash out, go buy more. That's how you get wealthy. Think about it. And get the 5-year roadmap. And we'll see you guys on Thursday at 12. We'll show you how to find these deals, man. Love you guys. Donald, thank you for hosting, man. I got a fire. Y'all see my fire going out there? I'm about to go sit by the fire out here, hang by the pool. Before it gets too cold in Ohio. We're in the 70s today, man. So it's feeling really good, man.
We're in the 90s in Phoenix, so.
Yeah, you guys have been 100 for way too long. Hey,
Yeah,
thank you guys, man. I love you
y'all.
guys, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. All my students, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12:30. I'll be going live from Caden's property, breaking down the construction costs and showing you guys some behind the scenes on a renovation.